Toronto Raptors right now being second, I think, in the East. Gotta look back at the
Yeah.
standings,
Well,
but
they're tied with the Knicks. Knicks are
now I
tied,
know
right?
now they're tied.
Yeah.
Now they're tied, but they were by themselves second in the East. And so if you're the New York Knicks, you see these guys rising up the charts. You got to say, hey, this is a team where we got to put them in their place and say, that's cute that you're there. Watch out for us. And that's what they did tonight. I don't care they didn't have RJ Barrett. I don't care they didn't have Jakob Pertl. They went out there, took care of business because, look, for a team that was on the second night of a back-to-back, this easily could have gone the other way and say, hey, Toronto, young legs, getting out there, hustling. I mean, look what who was it? You had what was it?
Oh, he was
Boyles
killing it.
out there. Boyles out there
Boyles
just
was
like
killing
acting like
it,
another
man.
Josh Hart.
Yeah,
And so
he
you
was
see
killing
these
it.
guys are activated. You had to stay in this game, man. So great win for the New York Knicks.
Yeah, I thought that was a big factor in the Raptors climbing back into the game was that, once their defense tightened up and once the Knicks started missing a lot of tough shots, the Raptors took advantage of the Knicks in a way that a lot of teams do, which is get out and transition. And that's the Raptors. That's one of their A games as it relates to their offense and how they go. And you look at the athletes that they have on that team, and especially when RJ's healthy, RJ's a big factor in that. So they were able to get out and transition. I thought they won in the hustle stats, especially in that second quarter, to keep things close and tighten up. And then, their shots started to fall a little bit. But when you talk about the defensive side of the house for the Knicks, hey, Mikal Bridges, because Brandon Ingram, you talk about the Raptors and how hot they were coming in, 13-2 in their last 15, and Brandon Ingram was a big part of that. Well, Mikal Bridges did a fantastic job on him. Yeah, he was tough. B.I. has 2 inches over him, and so Mikal did pick up a couple of fouls. He picked up 3 fouls in the first quarter, something you don't really see from Mikal Bridges, but 3 steals, 2 blocks, and forced some really tough shots on Brandon Ingram. And without OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges continues to help lead Wingstop on the defensive side of the ball. And he had a great moment there in the third quarter when Josh Hart was going in, where he gets the steal and then does the dunk, does the nosebleed celebration, and all of that, man. So shout out to Mikal Bridges, bro.
Mikal Bridges feeling himself, man. Dude is just in a great rhythm. I know we're going to talk about him later, but
Yeah.
I really love the way that he's approaching this season, man. He's not doing too much. He's not doing too little. He's just letting the game come to him, and he's providing what's needed. Tonight, it was the defensive side of the ball, and I loved everything about it. But, CP, just to give you a crazy look at how the first and second quarter went between both teams, right? Knicks started off in the first quarter shooting 67% from downtown, while the Raptors shot 37. Second quarter came around, Raptors shot 71% from downtown, and then the Knicks were shooting 28%. Sorry, that's just from the field. From the field.
Yeah.
Sorry, from the field. Just from the field. 67% in the first quarter from the field, 37% from the field for the Raptors in the first. Then it flips 71% from the field for the Raptors, 28% from the Knicks. So crazy way that this game was just had a flow.
Crazy swings. But again, I thought, the Knicks really tightened up, especially in the third quarter, led by those guys. And then the attrition, you could see when the attrition started to kick in, because then once Mike Brown went with the double bigs, I thought Mitch and Towns really, really dominated on the boards, and their size just wore the Raptors out over time. No Jakob Pertl, so that was a big difference for the Knicks. And I'm sure Karl Anthony Towns looked at that box score at halftime and saw that he had 0 rebounds. So you saw a much more spirited effort from Towns to really secure some boards there for the Knicks, and then Mitch as well. Blockness. In the first half, I thought the Raptors did a good job. They put like 2-3 guys on Mitch on the boards to try to prevent him from getting rebounds, and the Knicks were still able to get some, but in the second half, they really just wore them down, and they were able to dominate.
Yeah, and I'm sure this is what Mike Brown wants to see when he has a double big lineup out there, is that he wants to control the glass, wants to control possessions, slow the other team down. I mean, CP, just going back to, I know we're just talking about boards in general and seeing the double big lineup, but 25 offensive rebounds in this game for the New York Knicks, 25 versus the Raptors 14. If this has got to be the vision of what they saw when they wanted to have Towns and Mitch start. Now, there's obviously going to be some questions. I'm going to ask you some of that later, because with McBride, the way that he's playing, I got some questions for you. But look, the fact that you have these two guys just dominating on the glass, like, this is just going to be a problem for a lot of teams if you're trying to win games. I mean, right now the Knicks are in the top 5 when it comes to being a rebounding team, and just that alone, when you have nights where this team, as we've seen, not shoot the ball well. When you get opportunities like that just to get second chance points, it's going to be hard to keep the Knicks out of games, as we've seen, man.
Yeah.
Look at even against the Look at not even the Raptors. Look at the Milwaukee Bucks. I had that conversation with Rohan, who covers the Bucks for the Eurostep podcast, and the biggest topic, the biggest talking point that we discussed was the rebounding because both teams, Knicks, Bucks, are top when it comes to second chance opportunities. They do it in different ways, but controlling the glass was much more beneficial to the Knicks in that matchup, which is why they were able to secure that victory, go on to the quarterfinals, now face against the same team that we just played tonight, the Toronto Raptors, in the
NBA.
Emirates NBA
Yep.
Cup.
Yep.
And now like you just see how important rebounding is to this team.
We got to shout out our player of the game, and that is Josh Hart. 20 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 of 8 from downtown with 3 steals. Was there anything out there that Josh Hart did not do well tonight? You'd be hard-pressed to find it because he has been on a tear for this Knicks team as of late, and he's going to make Mike Brown's job very, very tough and interesting once the dog OG Anunoby comes back. But keeping it in the here and now, this is Hart. We're not surprised at these Hart performances. We've seen this over the years. We've seen who he is. But when you look at what he gives this team, you understand why the decision by Mike Brown will be difficult because he's shooting the three now with confidence. 8 attempts, 4 of 8 from downtown. In that third quarter, when you saw him cooking, when they ran him off the three-point line, he's stopping and popping in the mid-range. So he has so much confidence in his jumper right now that is clicking and going smooth. Then the boards, as you mentioned it, 25 offensive rebounds. Knicks win 60 to 40 roughly, plus 20 on the boards. Josh Hart accounted for 12 of those. And then the 7 assists. So, he's doing literally everything he needs to do for this team. We always see when they put 2 on the ball, it's Josh Hart out of the short roll, making a play, kicking it to the corners, or now getting his own offense and putting it in the hole. Excellent job by Josh Hart tonight, our player of the game.
Excellent game by Josh Hart. But you know who needs it? You know who needs an award too, CP?
Yeah.
Get Peter Hatton to the award, man. The shooting coach for Josh Hart right now in the New York Knicks because, my goodness, Josh Hart cannot miss. Yo, this is what Josh Hart's been doing over the last 5 games. He's averaging 16 points. He's shooting 54% from the field, 40% from downtown. That is a 5. He's averaging 5 attempts over the last 5 games. 5 attempts from downtown, shooting 40%, shooting 86% from the free throw line, getting you 10 boards, 6 assists. My man is like, he's doing everything, man. After soaking against the Chicago Bulls, this man has completely turned it around. And I know you're saying that Mike Brown's going to have a tough time figuring it out, but as long as he, the biggest thing for him, as long as he knows what his role is, when his minutes are coming, this man is totally fine. We saw when OG was here, he was okay playing off the bench and getting his. And the big thing for him, CP, is that he's closing games, all right? He is critical to closing games right now. Shooting with confidence is the biggest reason why, if you're a Knicks fan, I know the whole conversation, you can't leave Hart out there. He's not going to shoot. This man's shooting just fine. And you know what's even more shocking? The man's shooting mid-range like it's nobody's business, okay? So Josh Hart, excellent performance tonight. And of course, he's doing the same thing that he always does. Grab boards, get out in transition, be a playmaker. Honestly, the second best playmaker on this team is Josh Hart. There is no question about that outside of Jalen Brunson. This guy is just figuring out how to keep guys involved. And man, he's doing what you want, man. Getting those paint touches and spraying it to the perimeter. Josh Hart is on an incredible stretch right now.
That's right. And speaking of Josh Hart, here he was with our guy Han Solo after the game. Han Solo he's rocking a gray piece. He's looking real Brentwood aristocrat-y right now. It's got the white pocket square with a nice little design. It's a nice combo by Solo tonight, man. I'm going to text him and let him know, man.
Isn't that what Long Islanders do, man? Isn't that what your people do?
That's fly. Solo, he came fly tonight. Shout out to Solo, man. But here was Hart after the game with Alan Hahn after the 20-point, 12-rebound, 7 assist performance.
Well, Josh, first and foremost, with a game like this and the way it went, what did it take to finally get the win?
Just discipline. We got a little lazy in certain points of the game, and they're a good team. They made runs, but we were able to kind of weather the storm.
Jalen Brunson called you an X factor for everything that the team does. What does X equal for you on a given night?
I don't know, man. I just run around and just kind of do whatever, man. I just try to have a feel for the game. Every night it's a little bit different. I knew they were sagging off me, so I had to shoot with confidence and just, play my game, be aggressive.
Well, that's 10-1 now to start the season at Madison Square Garden. How important is it to just continue to build home court advantage here?
Oh, man, it's huge, man. This is, the mecca of basketball, the greatest fans in the world. So they come out and show us love and support us, and that's how we reward them.
Well,
all right, that was our guy Josh Hart with Alan Hahn, and all the key words you heard there in that postgame was what we just covered. Brunson calling him the X factor for doing it all. Josh Hart talking about shooting with confidence because of all the players on the court, he's the guy that the other team, they're going to gamble off. They're going to gamble, right? You can't cover everything. You're going to try to take Brunson away. You're going to try to take Towns away. You got to try to close out on Deuce. So Hart is the guy that they're going to try to sag off of and cheat off of, and he's making them pay now. Confidence is the key word that he said there. Our role player of the game, we talked about Deuce, but the role player of the game, Al, is going to go to Mikal Bridges. 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 of 10 from the field, but it was his defense on Brandon Ingram that really shined bright here in this game where the Knicks needed it, and he holds BI to 2 of 6 from the field, just 6 points, and then Mikal Bridges with 2 steals and 2 blocks of his own. Here was Mikal Bridges in the locker room just reacting to tonight's win. Let's test the audio, see how it is, see if I got to turn it up. Here we go.
Brought him a lot. Scored a couple buckets on me, so I don't think it was the best defense, but thanks, Deuce. Thanks, man. I just, talking them better, but tough player. That's what he does.
All right, so, hey, Mikal Bridges says, hey, I got work to do. That was Deuce in the background saying he did great, Mikal. But Mikal did pick up the 3 fouls in the first half. B.I. has it 2 inches over him. He's a good player for a one-time All-Star, so not a walk in the park by any stretch. I still thought Mikal Bridges did a fairly solid job, fairly good job on him, and helped the Knicks out tonight. You're down OG, the biggest wing on the team, and here we have it, our player of the game, our role player of the game, 2 members of Wingstop, and 2 of the only wings that they have on this team now, with no OG, no Shamet, holding it down right now.
Yeah, man. You're going to go with Bridges. I feel like it should. You can say Bridges. I feel like it should be Deuce, man.
Okay.
I just feel like I feel like it should be Deuce just for the stuff that we discussed earlier. Look, man, coming out the gates hot, that really set the tone to get the Knicks up to 24 points. I really like that. I like his defense. I know it wasn't necessarily great all night on Quickly, but he did have moments where he was stopping Quick and preventing him, okay? Because Quick has actually gotten better getting downhill and getting into the paint, stuff that he struggled with as a rookie and even his sophomore year here as a Knick. So I thought McBride did a phenomenal job at that, fighting around screens to stay in front of him. I think McBride, to me, could be easily the role player of the game just because that spark they provided in the first quarter. And look, even as the game wore on and there were switches, he also was able to get steals tonight. He got 2 steals, causing turnovers. I like the way McBride played tonight, man. I'm going to go with him. He's my role player, honestly, just because I feel like I said, without that spark, because we saw how fast they were able to roll back, CP. We saw how fast. You needed offense tonight.
Yeah.
And I think that quick start from McBride really set the Knicks up just to bounce back in that third quarter.
But let's get to the key stats of the night, Al, brought to you guys by DraftKings Sportsbook. 46% from the field. Knicks drew 46% from the field tonight, Al, compared to 42 for the Raptors. We talked about the Knicks' 3-point hot start. They finished shooting 16 of 45 from 3, 36% compared to 30 for the Raptors. 75% the Knicks go from the charity stripe. Just 33 free throw attempts between both of these teams. 16 for the Knicks, 17 for the Raptors. Raptors shot 53% from the charity stripe, so I know Coach Darko's not too happy about that. Knicks winning the rebounding battle 61-40, including 25 offensive rebounds. The assist battle, both teams tied up at 27. 18 Raptors turnovers leading to 24 Knicks points. And Knicks also had turned the ball over 18 times and only coughing it up 19 times to the Raptors. 25-11. Raptors got out in transition. We talked about that's their game, and they beat the Knicks pretty handily in that regard. Points in the paint, both teams tied it up 48 apiece. And then largest lead of the night, Al, 24 for the Knicks to 2 for the Raptors. What do you think about the stats, man?
Second chance opportunities is the one that stands out to me, man,
Yep.
because it coincides with dominating on the glass. 61-40 is insanity, man. Absolute insanity. And then to match that with the 22-9 second chance opportunities, big time effort, especially from Cat, Mitch, and Hart. And that's something that they just got to keep emphasizing. When we look at teams, man, and how they're constructed and just playing to your strengths, they got to be able to lean into this one, man, because that's how they're going to just stay into games later on in the season and especially in the postseason. Because as we know, when things start to slow down, teams not going to be shooting as crazy as we see during the regular season, man. Not a lot of defense is played. We see that. Knicks are not playing a lot of defense. A lot of teams are not playing that much defense, maybe for certain matchups, but for all 82 games, it's not going to be like that. And so once it starts to slow down, teams are not going to be shooting as high as a percentage as we are accustomed to seeing during the regular season. And so how do you battle that? Getting rebounds, stopping possessions, because it all comes down to that. That's what matters. And so while Mitch is working his way back up to being a full-time contributor to this team, and you got Cat and Josh Hart, I'm loving to see the 61-40 rebounds, and I'm enjoying when I see second chance opportunities, man, because that's really where we got to dominate. This is a great shooting team as of right now. We know offensively this team can be very prolific, but to add the second chance opportunities on top of that, that's when you become unbeatable and leading into what this identity of the team is looking to become, which is just an offensive juggernaut.
Yeah, good stuff there. I'll go with the turnovers forced. I think that was a big part, especially in the third quarter for the Knicks, with that one Mikal Bridges steal on Brandon Ingram leading to the dunk there. You had 3 steals from Mikal, two steals, 2 blocks rather for Mikal, 3 steals for Josh Hart, 2 steals for Deuce, 2 more for Kolek. I thought overall the turnovers, man, and the Raptors again coming off a second night of a back-to-back, they were right to be had there, and so some of that was sloppy play by the Raptors, but others, I thought it was pretty sound defense from the Knicks and opportunistic defense, and that's what you want to see. As you said, this is an NBA Cup preview. This is a team coming in hot, number 2 in the East. They're coming into your building. Don't let them get any type of confidence to come in there and beat you under those circumstances. So I thought the Knicks defense did a good job of really just holding down the fort and then forcing those turnovers in the third, which when the Raptors cut it to 3, the Knicks were able to bring it back to 18, but I thought their defense was a big factor in it and the turnovers that they forced. So I'm going to go with the turnover battle. What you guys think in the chat? Give us your key stats of the night. What'd you think about it? And once again, the key stats brought to you guys by DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. All of your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. New customers bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass, plus score $300 if your bet wins, which is paid out in bonus bets. All you have to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app or go to DraftKingsSportsbook.com and use code KFTV to sign up for the deal. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8 HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21-plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required, and the NBA League Pass auto-renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. And once again, this is a limited time offer. Shout out to our guys at DraftKings. The crown is yours for sponsoring tonight's show.
I love the boards. They were killing it. Funny stat, I was looking at the box score. Everyone actually contributed to the rebounds. Everyone at least got 1 rebound, so I thought that was funny. But I want to pick you guys' brains real quick. So after the Magic lost, that was a hard loss. Now we going on a roll. Now we got the NBA Cup quarterfinals, and then in that game stretch right before it, we got the Magic back, and then we could potentially play them again to get into the finals. So what you guys thinking on those two key game matchups. Like we've seen the Knicks going on a roll and they're hot right now. Like what you guys thinking? You think we're gonna push through? Like what you guys thinking ahead?
Yeah, man, I would say one game at a time, man. The schedule gets a little tricky because they got to go to Boston on Tuesday, fly to Boston. Then they have back-to-back. They come back here and play the Hornets, I believe, right out. Let's pull up the schedule. They pull up I'm just going to pull it up right now. Shout out to Jamar in the chat.
Yeah, they play the Hornets.
They play the Hornets next. So on the second night of a back-to-back, they got to come home and play the Hornets. Then they play Utah on Friday, which is fine. But then they got Orlando on Sunday, then the NBA Cup matchup against the Raptors on Tuesday. And should they win, as Jamar said, they could be taking on either the Orlando Magic or the Miami Heat. So two Florida teams who this team has some trouble with. But look, I'm with it, man.
I hope we get our leg back, man. I hope we get them back. I'm excited. I want the Knicks to keep on rolling. It's gonna be fun games to watch. Very entertaining. I'm excited, man.
I'm for the smoke, man. I want to see Orlando twice. See him at the Garden, see him in Vegas. See him at the Garden, see him in Vegas, man. We need revenge against this team. Enough is enough, man. And bring the dog back. Make sure the dog is back coming to Vegas and ready to lock up. He's coming out the kennel. We're bringing the dog out the kennel, Al. Enough is enough, man.